Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw a Cobra Trooper from G.I. Joe. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. For myself. So, don't worry if you can't see this. I know, you're not supposed to. Well, I mean, you can draw along too. But this is really for me, just to get this going. Maybe one day I'll start doing sketches where everybody else can see, but really, I know everybody just wants to get to the Sharpie portion. And a lot of people skip this anyway. I don't know if anybody's even watching this. But that's why this is mainly for me, just to get the pose and to get where I need to be so we can get to the Sharpie part. Okay, so let's talk about Cobra Island. Don't know what that is. We don't know yet as far as the toys. I think it's the game that's coming out. But I love these toys. These look so good. They put a lot of work into this new design, the redesign of it, and I'm happy with that. I've talked about before in the other videos how a lot of people are complaining. I'm not a lot of people. Older people that grew up with G.I. Joe and now they're complaining, this is not my G.I. Joe, blah blah blah, what I have to say to that is exactly right. It's too bad. Your G.I. Joe is done. It's time for new stuff. Because a lot of them, they're older men like me that collect toys and they like to complain. But, it's time to move on. It's no longer about your childhood, your youth, or whatever, I get it. You want to, relive it and all that stuff, but it's done. It's done. It's time for new stuff, and I'm ready for it. Everybody's ready for it, so let's do it. So that's how I feel about it, and that's why I love these designs. They're so good. They're so fantastic and really well thought and fresh and clean and new, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I didn't really collect G.I. Joe as much as the other people, but I feel the same way about Star Wars, and I really collected Star Wars, I'm not gonna lie. But some people that are complaining, oh, they're not doing the 3 3/4 figures, they don't care about us. You know what? Yeah, who cares? That's old and done, and again, it's time for new stuff. And like I said, I used to collect, and I know and understand what they're talking about because, okay, so the main reason I started collecting the Black Series again is because my memory of toys is completely different from what they actually are. What I mean by that is I remember my toys and I remember how awesome they were, but when I go back and look at the old Star Wars toys and stuff like that, man, they look bad. They were horrible because, it was the technology at the time. It didn't really matter. Just make 3 3/4, get going, that kind of fun stuff. Well, technology's moved on and stuff has gotten better. And so when I look at those old toys, I'm like, oh my god, these are terrible. What happened? So I like that they're updating, that they're doing new stuff, because all that stuff was bad. And again, they did their best. They did what they could do, so I'm not complaining, but I'm just being honest that, okay, I get it. It's not as good as I remember, so it's time for an update. It's time for new stuff. So when I see new designs and new stuff, and especially the Black Series that's coming out with, all these kinds of crazy better figures, hey, I'm all for it. I say do it. Let's get better figures out there, and more for everybody too, because not everybody collected, especially the younger audience that's just now learning about, or it's not new to them. It's not old to them. It's new to them. By meaning Mandalorian and whatnot. You know, I mean, this is all new to them, so let's give them new stuff. Let's stop obsessing over your childhood and what it meant to you and whatnot, because again, your time's done. You had your chance. Well, that sounds horrible. I don't mean that you had your chance. I mean, like, you know, you had your glory days, and now it's time for others' glory days. You know, let's get some new stuff. Okay, so let me try to figure out how to draw like his. I'm going to draw them with, okay, so let's also talk about this. I don't have any of these figures. Right now, at this point in time, super hard to find. With everything that happened, pandemic, and just a pandemic, honestly. I know distribution is just gone crazy, and nobody planned on this happening in general, and nobody planned on how they're going to distribute figures and that kind of stuff. So finding these things are almost impossible. So hopefully it'll clear up by Christmas. I really hope that. But right now it's almost impossible to find figures. So I'm not complaining. You know, I'd rather be safe, and I'm glad everybody's being safe and wearing masks and all that. So I'm glad that's happening. But where I'm going with this is that means I can't get figures, and it's okay, no big deal. You know, it happens. But I don't have the specific details of these as much as I want. All I can go by are pictures. So I've got to figure out how to pose them in these pictures without having the specifics to go by. And it's super hard, but it's a nice, awesome challenge. But you never know. Maybe by the time you're watching this, the figures are out. You can get everything, and you're just excited, and that's why you want to draw them. I am too. That's why I can't wait to get my hands on some awesome new figures, Cobras, and Joes, and all kinds of stuff. So like I said, yeah, I wasn't a big collector of G.I. Joe, but these look awesome. You know, these are a new style, a new brand, and man, I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so let's draw this arm out and figure out something over here. Let's just have him like holding the gun out. His laser gun. That's how I'm getting away with overriding my guilt of drawing guns. I don't like to draw guns because I don't want to promote violence. So, you know, this is I don't want to, but considering these are like laser guns, or, you know, almost like space guns, you know, it's a new kind of technology. I'm okay with it now, you know? So it's my easy out to clear my conscience is what it is. And also, I've talked about this before, that apparently these are Nerf guns too. That's what a lot of people say. I don't know, but it's like people are saying that. But again, these are also the complainers. These are the ones that are like, this is not my G.I. Joe and all that. Who knows? Like, they could be wrong. They could just be exaggerating. But that would be awesome if they are, because that means they're going to come out with a series of G.I. Joe Nerf guns, right? And the nice thing too about these troopers is there's variations on the toys. I sound like I'm trying to sell the toy. I'm not. I'm just going on and on about. I'm not sponsored. I'm going on and on about the love of them. But anyway, what I'm saying is there's variations, so you can make all kinds of different ones. You know, you can do them with the hat, without the hat, without the goggles, with the goggles, all kinds of cool stuff. So I like that. I like that you can army build, basically. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'm going to erase some of these lines because I want my Sharpie to stand out, not my pencil lines. But I also got to leave myself enough to see where I'm going. and then we're going to welcome everybody to the Sharpie portion and get going. Okay, I think that's enough. I don't want it to all disappear. The sketch worked out so well that I don't have to worry too much about darker lines, but that also meant that there's not much to keep there, so I got to be careful with what I erase. Normally I erase the light lines and keep the darker lines, but I didn't have to press too hard on this one. Okay, I think that's good. I say we welcome the skippers. Welcome skippers, welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point. You can find things that the fine point can't quite find. Sketch the entire thing out. I've erased a majority of the dark lines, the light lines, and left very faint concept lines or sketch lines to guide us. And so I've got him facing this way a little bit. I'm going to start off with the Sharpie pen because normally I use it for the details of the face, but considering it's just a mask, I'm still going to use this for the fine points, and then we'll come back and jump in with the big, with the fine point. The pen's a finer than the fine point, right? So for the eyes, let's see, there's a gun in front of the way. I'm going to go ahead and do kind of like this, kind of like, they're going to look like snake eyes. Oddly enough, he's not snake eyes, he's a trooper. So like this, and the reason I'm doing that is because now I want to do the helmet over, because it's kind of over the eyes, but I'm going to stop here because that's where the gun's going to be. So I'm going to kind of come over for the helmet. It's going to come down like that. So see, I want it to look like it's kind of under. That's kind of what I was going for. So this works out, and it guides us to where we're going to be as well. So I'm also going to draw the top of the helmet so you see where we are. Like this. So it's kind of out a little bit to form a lip, so to speak, of the helmet that comes out over the eyes. And so same thing, let's go ahead and draw it, and we'll build off of this so you see where we are. I'm a puller more than a pusher, so I'm going to pull from the other side. And then I'm going to start to thicken things up, because once I use this Sharpie, it's a huge difference. And so I'm going to thicken it up as I go too, but I'm also going to accent certain parts for the design. So see, I kind of wanted that out a little bit more on the edge of the helmet to make it look like, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of like a armor type piece. It's kind of like that. So I just wanted to accent that it's over the helmet, not like painted on, you know. And so here I am thickening this edge up. And like I said, if you want to do this, you can. You don't have to. But it's because of this is why I'm doing it. So you do what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little pattern in here too, kind of follow the design of it. It's kind of a seam line, so to speak. And then there's one more that I kind of want to do with color, but I'm going to go ahead and do it with the Sharpie just to give us some kind of accent, okay? So now we're going to work on the goggles and the face, and then remember I have to stop over here because of the gun, so just bear with me basically. There are like these serpent eye type kind of openings that we're going to do like that. And I'm putting them off to the side just a little bit because remember, his head is turned. So if they're in front of you, they're going to turn a little bit. You know, that's why I've got them kind of at an angle. And so now I'm going to do like some kind of mech goggles, just some kind of design to accent that it's a goggle. It's not his eyes, okay? Goggle. Such a strange word, right? Alright, I think I want to accent the top of his helmet too a little bit more, so I'm going to thicken it up. I want to make it stand out over the rest of the lines, because those other lines are more complementary lines. There we go. That's starting to look really good to me. Okay, so he's got a mask on, so I'm going to go ahead and draw the shape of it, coming down to his chin, like this. Again, going to thicken it up. Going to draw the side of his head like this, and you can't really see the flare of his helmet, but I'm going to go ahead and draw it right here just to accent that there's more back there, okay? Because this whole helmet, it flares out in the back almost like Darth Vader, you know, but you can't really see it, so I'm just going to accent a little bit. So now I'm going to draw the side of his face. And again, I'm a puller. That's why I'm just kind of coming in from the side. And again, stopping right there because that's where the gun's going to be. Or I think where the gun's going to be. That's where my sketch is. We may have to go back and correct some of these lines, but that's okay. Alright, so I think that's good for the face. Let me add a few details. But we need to get going with the rest of it. And then color will kind of accent the rest of the cool details of the face. It's hard for me to see specifics because I was talking about this in the sketch. All I have are pictures to go by, so I don't have too much that's really going to guide me. And also this is like a very mechanized faceplate, and that's all we can really do. Okay. And this is going to be like he's got like a headset or a goggle piece, so all that's going to be blue. So okay, so there we go for the face. I say we go on. I'm going to switch over to the big Sharpie now, and so I'm going to draw the gun part of the arm and all that stuff. Let me bring his neck down real fast so you see where we are, and I'm going to draw into his neck piece, and I'm going to build out. The problem is there's a lot of stuff here, so you're going to have to bear with me with what we're drawing. And I'm going to come down here for like his shoulder straps. And we'll go ahead and draw the edge here so you see where we are. There's a knife on this side. So again, sorry if I'm jumping all over, but I'm trying to give you perspective of where we are and what's happening with so much little detail, Something like that. Let's draw the knife handle. I'm just going to do something simple like this. Okay. We'll go ahead and add a little bit of extra just to make it stand out. The reason I want to do stuff like that is because now I can draw this part of this shoulder harness back behind it, okay? Because you always want to draw what's in front first, and then you can draw what's behind. So, now that we have this, there's a lot in here as far as intricate little pack stuff, so I need to build out first. So I have his hand here, the gun's right there. I'm going to just draw the hand first because I've already sketched it out. I know why it's going to be here, and it'll help us to place where everything else is going to be. Okay, this is going to be the handle of the gun, like that. And so now I can draw the digits around it. So I can draw the knuckle like this. There's the trigger guard. So I can draw one knuckle in like this, another one like this, and there's the pinky. Okay, I know it's kind of blobby, but that's also why we have this smaller Sharpie, so I can add a little bit of detail, a little bit of specifics. Alright, and so because it's a glove, there's not too much we really got to worry about. We're just going to add some bumps and creases where the edges might be. Okay, so that will give us the edge of his hand. Sorry, I'm going to do that real fast just to kind of accent the knuckles. There we go. Now I'm going to draw a gun, and I'm just drawing like a basic like laser gun because I don't have the specifics. I do have like toy sketches, but that's all I really have to go by. So I'm just adding extra like that. So see, I wanted to make sure that's not going to draw through that stuff, so that's why I stopped. And so now let's add some edge parts. Yeah, edge parts. That's all I can really call them. Is that's all that's gonna be accented. Okay, and that's all you can see because it's the underside of the gun, basically. Something like that. All right. So that means I can also finish up the helmet. Let's connect right there. This side I had, like I was talking about, the flare out. We can do that real quick. And there you go. That finishes up the head. Connect that right there. And I can start adding more stuff over here. So like the straps right there, I'm going to do the same thing like this. Okay, and start to build off this. So he's got armor pieces on his arm. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the edge of that. It's going to come down here to his elbow. Come back up. And this arm is kind of in front of the bicep and all that stuff. So all we can really do is something like that. And I'll add, like, you know, little extra armor accents like that. That's cloth is why I was doing like this. And so, yeah, so this has got a very intricate mech shape design. So we're just going to do something like this just to kind of show that it's got levels to it. It's not just one piece. All right. So again, there's intricate stuff here on his chest, so I'm just going to kind of build up kind of a pack. So we're going to add like side pack stuff over here. And then there is a gun on the front right here. Let's see if I can find a good picture to go by to kind of simulate what they did. Because they got, like I said, it's really intricate designs, and I'm going by the toy design is what I'm going by, because that's all I have to go by. And I always tell you too, don't draw from toys, but here I'm doing it because I need specifics, I need details. I'm not going by positioning or any of that stuff. There you go. And so now I'm just going to add a little extra to simulate the front. All right. Sorry, I got hung up in details there real fast. But yeah, so anyway, all I have to go by are the toys because that's all I am really inspired by right now. I don't know where this is going. I think it's going to be a video game. I'm not too sure at this point in time. Now remember, you know, if you're coming into this like later on down the line, I always see your toys and don't know what they're going to be used for yet. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome. But this is all we got right now. So. Okay, so now I'm just going to add some specific detail just to try to flesh out the whole design and try to make it like you know, like he's wearing a protective chest piece that's holding on different parts and the knife and all kinds of straps and you know and little cases and pouches like this for his snack packs and pudding cups and anything else he needs to eat, you know. Okay, so let's do the other side over here. Gonna come down and do the other part of the belt. We're gonna add just some stuff like this just to kind of make it mech or packed, you know. And again, I'm just making this up because there's so much intricate design stuff on here that I don't really have time to draw it all, and I don't know what all of it is anyway. So I'm just kind of making up like, well, if you've got a strap here and this is holding on, and maybe these are, you know, holding that on, and maybe this is over there and whatnot. I don't know. I really don't know. A lot of this is going to be colored in black anyway, but I'm just trying to make up some kind of specific like belt type kind of stuff, you know. So don't worry about if you're not drawing the exact same thing I am. I'm just adding some detail just to, you know, make it look more realistic. Okay, so let's draw this arm sticking out, holding this gun. So the handle is over the hand right there, or the arm. So you got to consider that whenever we're coming in. So I'm going to draw the shoulder up, down to his bicep piece, because he's got like a bicep armor, basically. And then that's going to come down, and before we go, I'm going to stop right about there because that's where I want to draw the gun. I'll come down underneath and build it up from there. So the arm's coming in like that. I'm going to come down for that bicep piece, and I think it's going to cover over like that too. So let's go ahead and stop there. Then that's where the elbow is going to be. It's going to come back into the wrist, and this is where the hand is going to be holding the gun. So we're going to do let's see, I'm gonna draw the wrist like this. There's gonna be a glove, and then we're gonna draw the thumb holding the hand, or holding the handle, and that's in front of everything, so that's good that we draw that first. And then I want to draw the hand of the gun, because I wish I don't have my drill here that's got like a handle, but we'll just say it's like this. If you're holding the gun, you're going to see the back of the edge right there in between the fingers and the hand. So just remember that whenever you draw stuff. You don't want to close it up completely like that. You want it like this to show that there is something in between that's being held, and will show weight or a solid girth, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If I get a good picture of that gun, and that'll work. Okay. Okay. So now I can draw the fingers, and remember the index finger is over the trigger like that, and so that means the other fingers are wrapped around. And see how they are not on this, they're inside, they're over, not inside, they're over the handle, basically, is what we wanted to do. Like that. A little far out, but that's okay. That's alright. Now that we have that, I can go ahead and close this off. And let's go ahead and add just a little bit of glove detail. Something like that. Okay? Awesome. Now, I'm going to draw the gun as close as I can, but, I'm just making it up. So, I'm going to come across here. Let's see, I'm going to come straight out. And again, I'm just making this up based on the toy, so it's not going to be exact. But I'm going to try to get close, don't worry. I'm just trying to cover up and say, hey, it's not going to happen. Don't worry. Don't freak out that it's not exact, or it's not straight. I mean, look at those parts. You wouldn't have a bumpity gun like that, but hey, this is me. This is how I draw, and I'm not too worried about specifics. I just want to make it look like the shape. Hey, you know what? Let's do the handle back so we can see where we are. So it's going to come back this way. Going to do that, and then it's going to have the handle coming down like this. So there you go. It's not touching, but at least we're careful. We made sure that we left enough room. So come back. Start to work on the top of the gun. Like this. And I like I said, I am kind of looking at the gun to see kind of how theirs goes. But I'm not too stressed out about it. So I'm drawing blobbity shapes. Going to be my new technique. We're going to call it the blobbity technique, and then I'm going to build on it. Okay. Now that we have this blobbity shape, I'm going to add some specifics just to try to make it like a gun or manufactured is what I'm going for. Like I said, it's not specific. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of adding stuff and building on the shape. And basically, I'm just kind of giving it a side, like it's we rose up, now we're coming this way, like we're going to do different layered stuff, And that's all we can really do. But also the nice thing is, too, by doing this, we're building, and we're just defining a few things and making it look like this just to add, specifics or not specifics, but what do you call it? Realistic detail, I guess, is what I'm going for, because just by adding little stuff like this, we're kind of making it, a specific look, a specific gun. And just giving it a little bit more than just a big blob. So there you go. See, by doing simple stuff like that, we just made it as real as we can possibly make it. Okay? All right, so we're going to just close this stuff up here. Add some detail. Let's see, he's got like that armor piece that I was talking about there. We're going to say it's going to the back. So it's going around like this. And I'm going to add some a little bit of creases and folds and detail. So like I said, there's some kind of armor on his arm, so that's why I'm adding little stuff like that. And then creases and folds where it's cloth. There we go. Okay, so there. Now we're just basically doing pants. We're almost done. We're going to draw his legs with just armor and boots. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to draw his leg down like this, down to where his knee's going to be. There's going to be a protective plating right there. So we'll just go ahead and draw that edge, and that'll be like almost like a boot. So we'll know where we're gonna come down to. There's going to be a knee pad. His legs coming up right there. There's his crotch, and his pants are kind of creased from where he's stretched out like that. So now I'm going to draw the other leg to his other knee. Come down like this. That's where his knee's going to be. He's going to have a big old knee pad right there. We'll go ahead and do this one too, so we know where we are. Like that. It's attached in the back. Oops. I'm going to bump down a little bit, so we'll attach it in the back here too. Come down to where that's going to be, and because it's a side view now, we're seeing more of it sticking out. Coming down to the ankle. And this stuff's pretty easy because this is just armor, is all it really is. So let's do all this and then we'll add some detail. Gonna come down here to his calf, put a strap on from where his shin guard is strapped, something like this, and just a boot with protective not laces, but protective covering. Like that. A little bit of a heel. Again, we'll add some detail in a second. Now we're doing the front view of that. So it's going to come down here. Come down again to that protective cover. And then like a metal steel toe. Like that. Connect it all. Edge, and now let's add some detail. So they put a lot of work into this stuff, not so much down here. You know, it's all pretty much just it's just armor. You know, so we're gonna give him a zipper like that. Crease up his pants a little. Probably thicken up a little bit of line, a little bit more than the rest, just to show the stress. Because that's where his pants are bending the most, so I put more stress on that. Plus it helps it make it look used, you know, like he's got movement. And the armor is just, I think it does have snake stuff, but I can't see, honestly. It's hard to see in these pictures, so we'll just do something like this. Just to say, yeah, it's got Cobra stuff, you know? But I can't tell. It's hard to see. Like I said, there's just toy pictures. That's all they are. I can't really tell from anything else. Okay, and it does have like a very specific shape to it. So that's why I was trying to go for the angles of it, like that. And let's see, and that's pretty much it. I'm just going to add some extra just some detail to the shoe. Just some wear and tear, basically. So there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is a Cobra Trooper from G.I. Joe. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.